What's that sound? It's for amusement only, the EM and Bingo Pinball Podcast.
I'm gonna have some pinball beer.
He's doing it. He's drinking pinball beer.
Mm-hmm.
Looks delicious.
I was buying sandwich supplies and saw the beer aisle and thought I should get some pinball beer.
How apropos.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to For Amusement Only. This is Nick Baldridge, and tonight I've got a special guest, my friend Brent Amrhein. Brent, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Now that you got some pinball beer?
Yep.
Brent is based in Atlanta, Georgia, and this weekend they had the Southern Fried Gameroom Expo, which I encouraged him to go check out.
And I did.
How do you like it?
It was pretty awesome. I only went on Friday night, and I was there for maybe about 3 hours, but I got to play a whole lot of pinball, and I got to stand behind a whole bunch of people playing pinball. So,
the line waiting experience is the best part of shows.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone was really friendly, though. There was one guy who was too wrapped up in one of the games, and he was playing for quite a minute before noticing me. But once he did, he stepped aside and let me play.
So no fist fights broke out?
No fist fight that I saw, at least.
Well, good. So what was your favorite game that you played? Any era?
Any era. Okay. I had a few, actually. There was Iron Man. Iron Man was a whole lot of fun. I really loved how the Ironmonger came out of the field and you got to whack him with the ball a whole bunch. That was super cool.
Smacking stuff is satisfying.
Yeah, smacking stuff is so satisfying. I also really like The Walking Dead. That also had a big zombie in the middle of the field that you could whack. He didn't rise out of the field, but, he was there for your hitting pleasure. And it also had these really cool magnets that would just draw the ball all over the field. And that was kind of unique amongst all the games. So those two were probably my favorite newer style pinball games. But of the older ones, I only played a couple. One of them, oh God, I can't remember the name. I have it written down somewhere. I made sure. No, maybe I didn't write it down. Crap. I'll have to go through my photos, but I think it was Egg something.
Egghead, yeah.
Egghead, yeah, that thing was, I don't know, maybe I was just getting really unlucky, but I tried playing a couple of games of that, and each game was just so short and miserable.
Egghead is a really hard game.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
At least I think so.
And it's not just me, because, yeah, it was kicking my butt.
All you're trying to do is make tic-tac-toe patterns.
Yeah, well... And I just kept losing the ball, so wasn't really sure.
Seems simple.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, I really, really enjoyed Fleet. That game was super cool.
We're talking about Bally's Fleet from 1930-something. 37?
1930-something. It sounds exactly right. 1930s. Yeah. I don't know, like, before actually reading the instructions, I was just trying really hard to get the balls into the top one without loading the cannons first. I was like, oh, wait, this is what you're supposed to do. And once I actually, had the cannons loaded up a bit with a couple of balls and I made it into the top action hole and it shot it forward, that was just so satisfying.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of those early ones from the 30s tried a bunch of unique stuff. And that's part of what I talk about here is some of that kind of forgotten history because a lot of that wasn't repeated until long after World War II was over. And in some cases, not until the 80s or 90s.
Oh. Huh.
Yep. So was there anything else stand out in the EM era?
Nothing that stood out as much as Fleet for me. But like I said, I only played a couple of the games. There were multiple EM era games that were out of order. So I don't know if that's normal or probably, I don't know.
It depends. Every show is a little different. So
right.
And
they had
who
a
knows?
pretty cool baseball one, but
Yeah.
I didn't play it. I just watched a guy play it for a while.
Can you describe what was going on in that one? Did it have
It had a big empty field and I don't know, you just kind of whacked the ball across it. I don't know. It was, yeah.
So it had flippers?
I don't think it did. Or,
Nope.
yeah, no, it had to have. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, there's there's a few different ones, and some of them.
I feel like I've seen a few different, because I remember in the Pinball Museum in Asheville, they had a completely different baseball game than the one that I'm thinking of at the.
Oh yeah, I forgot you'd been to the Asheville Pinball Museum too.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool too. Both there was a Terminator 3 and 2 at Asheville, and then I saw a Terminator 3 at the Southern Fried Gameroom. Or maybe it was whichever one has the spinny gun thing and the back glass where you shoot the ball across.
That's 3.
That's 3.
Yeah.
Okay, that was. I could have. Okay, yeah, I could have sworn the one at Southern Fried Game Room did not have that, but yeah, okay.
That would be 2.
Pretty sure it was 3, but yeah, all right. I didn't play it because I'd played it before, and there was again a big line. And I walked by Brad Pinbot like 5 times, and every single time there were just so many people around it that I just kept coming back around to it later and later in the evening, and eventually I got to play some Brad Pinbot, and I did terrible. I did not load up her eyes, and yeah.
Didn't turn her human?
No, I didn't.
I think the version that they had there is a recently remade Bride of Pinbot.
They had 2 Bride of Pinbots, actually.
Did they have them side by side?
No.
There was one with a DMD screen, and then one that's alphanumeric. I think both might have been represented there. I thought just the DMD one was there.
I didn't really inspect the other one, so I couldn't really tell you. But
well, at any rate, talking more about the older machines, were there any bingos hanging out there?
I saw there were a couple of machines that looked kind of bingo-ish, but I don't think any were like real bingos.
Okay.
So, at least I didn't see it. I feel like I might have missed like a whole other room. Like I just I wandered around for a little while, and then, I was there for about an hour and a half before I found a different room that was just huge and had a whole bunch of other pinball machines in it. So there's a good chance that I missed something. But yeah, no, I didn't see any bingos. So that was kind of weird because for the EM, the older machines, like they all kind of had theirs grouped together, but none of them were bingos. And if I'm totally wrong about that, someone listening, then sorry.
Well, I didn't see any photos of bingos, so
yeah. I mean, I took a lot of pictures. I don't think I got every machine, but I took pictures of most of the machines. So, yep. I didn't see any bingos, and that did cross my mind as I was walking around looking at everything. I was like, man, Nick would be so disappointed. Or he'd feel really smug that he was the only guy with a bingo machine. I don't know.
Wow. I guess next time I'm in Atlanta, I'll have to drop a bingo off with you. You'll have to take one.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They're easy to transport, right? Nothing could go wrong there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You just walk it down, piece at a time to the show.
Okay. Gotcha. And then putting it all together is easy peasy, right?
Oh, come on. Big deal. So, and you've been to my home, and you've played a variety of machines here as well. What would you say your favorite era of machine is?
So we're going by decade, because I probably can't really list the decades.
Oh, okay. Do you like
I don't know,
the
man.
computer-controlled machines, or?
I feel like I like them both about the same, which is kind of weird. Like before I started playing a bunch of pinball, after you got super into this hobby, like I figured all the old machines would be super boring, but they're really not. There's a strange complexity to them, and it's, I don't know. They're really simple and they're complex. Like they're hard to do. They're hard to win, and I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. So I don't really know what to. Yeah. Well, oh god, Egghead. Yeah.
So Egghead was so popular that they made a sequel.
Oh, great! Yeah, I'm sure it was popular. People
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
That. Oh, okay.
And the other manufacturers copied the same design as well.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun game, and actually all the permutations are
more
pretty
than
fun.
2 games of it.
Yeah.
It just beat me so bad. I was wanted to spend my time actually feeling good about something.
Get fed up and punch a wall, Brett.
Yeah, and then have to buy the machine or something. Which I'm sure you would enjoy.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, did they have any bowling themed games? I thought I saw a 300 in the lineup there.
I think there was. I didn't play it, but
Okay.
that does ring a bell. So I tried to play as many as I could at the time I was there, but it was really crowded, and yeah.
You weren't just shoving people out of the way.
No, I didn't feel.
It's my turn now.
Yeah. I just like really passive aggressively sat there and tapped my foot, you know.
How'd that work for you?
Yeah, it worked pretty well.
You got to put a quarter up on the glass, man.
Yeah, let's make this interesting. Start playing people. One of the other things that really stood out was that Lexi Lightspeed. That thing was crazy. Absolutely nuts. Yeah.
Of interest to me as well. Having kind of a computer bent, the whole thing has replaceable modules. Like you can pull out.
Yeah, you were telling me that. That's crazy.
Pop uppers or the flippers or that target bank or whatever, and swap it with something else entirely different. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I guess how easy are those things to program, or are they pretty, like, I don't know.
I know that one of the most popular frameworks for programming pinball machines is something called P-Rock, and it uses Python.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think you told me about that before, but
yeah, so
that's awesome.
That's something. If I ever get a completely destroyed solid state, it might be something that I put my hand to. But
yeah, do that.
But not anytime soon.
Yeah. Oh man, I should have played more of the older machines, because I forgot that this podcast was more focused on that.
Good looking out, man. Good looking.
Yeah, my bad. Is it still going on? I think they might have ended the festival already, but
yeah, I believe.
we could have done an on-air thing while I was there.
20 minutes. Well, not trying to impinge on your enjoyment there. It's your first show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing was really cool, though. And they had tons of arcade games. They had a pinball tournament in its own little room, which was kind of cool, I guess. I didn't stay in there that long. No, I wouldn't dare compete. I just make a fool out of myself. I've learned since playing more pinball, this past couple of years, that each machine that I start playing at, it takes me a couple of balls to get used to like the flow of everything. So yeah, I'll lose the first two balls and then I'll get on a roll with the third one or something.
And then you'll tilt out. Yeah,
exactly.
That's what happens to me.
There was one machine that was just super. It was Pinball Magic.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really fun game, and the ball on that thing was just super fast. It was like a bullet, just going all around the field. So that was kind of cool. It took me a minute to get warmed up on that, but yeah. I feel like, I mean, that one kind of reminded me a little bit of Bride Up Pinbot, if I'm remembering it correctly. I don't know. Maybe it's just that style of the way they do their women, but I don't know.
So
and the audio,
actually,
I guess, yeah.
It's the same artist.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense then.
Yeah, they switched. He switched companies.
Okay.
That was Capcom's first game.
So that was after Pinbot, or
after Williams? Yeah.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
I mean, they were.
I thought it looked a little bit older, but never mind.
No, that one's newer.
Interesting.
So,
that's cool.
You can tell because Bride of Pinbot has alphanumeric, and then Pinball Magic has the DMD, the display.
Right. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
I didn't see a Medieval Madness, which was very disappointing.
There was one there. I saw a picture.
Did I take a picture of one?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh man, where was that thing? Because I would have played the crap out of that.
I think they roped it off and said no Brents allowed.
Oh, those jerks. Yeah, I feel like I would have known if I had crossed a Medieval Madness, but yeah.
That's a fun game. But talking about the older games.
Oh no. I don't know anything about them.
You know some stuff.
Yeah.
First of all, let's go back a little bit. How old are you?
Me? Oh, I'm a whole 25 years old.
There we go. So this should place for some of my listeners exactly where you're coming from. And
Yeah.
did you play pinball as a kid?
I played every very great once in a while when I was a super tiny kid. Any rare occasion where I would actually get to go to an arcade, they would still have pinball machines, and I'd mess around a little bit then. But I could not tell you what pinball machines I played because it was like 3 or 4 at the time. So, yeah.
That's cool. And so when did you start playing again? Was it when I started introducing you again? Yeah,
pretty much. Because I don't know, arcades kind of fell out of style for a little while there, I feel like. So I didn't even know that places still had pinball machines until you told me that they had them at the Putt Putt in Midlothian. So yeah.
And I dragged you out there one day.
Yep, and that was super fun too. So that Putt Putt has a Indiana Jones and what was the other one?
It did at the time, and a Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones, that's right. Okay.
But so you've played a couple of different bingos at my house.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a favorite?
Which one's the first one you got?
The Double Up.
Okay, I think I like that one more, and I absolutely have no idea how to play either one. So, despite playing both of them and you going over the rules, I still always forget. But no, they're really cool machines. I just wish I had the capacity to remember the rules.
So I guess it bears mentioning, 95 minutes into this podcast here, that Brent is a computer programmer. So do you think you could whip up something similar to that in just electromechanicals?
It'd take a very frustrating minute. I feel like, yeah.
It's an entirely different skill set, to design.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to.
Those kind of mechanisms. Yes, it's difficult.
I don't know how you have the patience for fixing those things. They're so, and I've heard the horror stories that you've gone through of just trying to debug and fix like a simple little problem with the machine, and then it's just so many layers deep and all the mechanicals. So, yeah,
it's so amazingly satisfying though. Once you finally...
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, like that feeling when you have a bug that you've introduced. And it takes you like an entire day to figure out what's going on.
Yep, a common occurrence.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's the same thing, but with moving parts, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So, do you like? What's your favorite feature on a pinball machine? Do you like drop targets? Do you like stand-up targets? Do you like things that you smack, like that ironmonger?
I really like smacking things. I also the magnets on The Walking Dead were super cool. I don't know, that was just so different. So I'm really into that now. Oh man, I don't know, because I really I forget which machine of yours that I really enjoy playing, but it's the one where the ball can go like right by the flippers on the outside.
Twinkie,
yes. I really enjoy that machine. For some reason, I just can't stop playing that machine whenever I'm over. Maybe it's because, I'm just always trying to beat it and I never can.
It's really brutally difficult.
Yeah.
That's Molly's favorite as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. That's like the only one that she plays.
I didn't think she liked anything. No, I'm just kidding.
I know it seems that way.
Yeah, sorry, Molly.
She doesn't listen, so.
Oh, okay. Phew.
You're safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one is just so fast, and Chicago Coin is looked down upon by a lot of collectors. They were the also rans of that era. Yeah, the people who made Twinkie.
Oh, okay.
And you look at something like Twinkie that has all those features and is so fast and so difficult, and it makes you wonder why people think that way. I wonder if they just haven't given them a chance.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's kind of my thing with the older games in general, is you got to give them a chance because you never know.
Oh yeah, So what I was pretty impressed with when I was playing the older machines, there was a kid who was in his teens just hovering around there, and he just seemed so interested in those older machines. And like, I don't know, for a minute there, it was just me and this kid playing the older machines, everybody else focusing on all the newer stuff. But I don't know, it was kind of surprising that I just expected someone a little bit older would be hovering around the mechanical machines. But yeah, I don't know.
That's ageistic, Brent.
Yeah, I know that's horrible of me, but I still thought it was cool. So yeah, it's like
Well,
this kid gets the simple stuff like me.
Well, simple doesn't mean bad, and
No, not at all.
Appears simple doesn't mean that it actually is.
Right.
So,
oh yeah, it's totally not, especially in the case of a bingo. Jesus Christ.
So were there any wood rails there?
I don't know exactly what you mean by that.
So most pinball machines that you see, especially nowadays, have metal side rails that you hold on to.
Oh.
But in the 40s and the 50s and the 30s, they had wooden rails.
Right. Okay.
So these would be really old machines.
I don't think so, but I wasn't really looking for it. So, yeah, sorry.
Like Fleet would qualify just barely.
Okay.
It's not.
Yeah, nothing really stood out to me that way, so.
Did they have a game there called Scoregasm Master by any chance?
I didn't see it. I didn't see one, but that name is fantastic.
I agree. So it's a modern recreation of a game from the 30s, and it uses a couple of solid-state components, but it's basically the same playfield layout and has the same manual scoring tabulation, like in Fleet.
Oh, okay.
You have to count.
Yeah. That was the one thing about Fleet that I didn't like.
You didn't like it?
No. No, it was pretty cool.
I do math for my job. I refuse to do it here.
I'm trying to relax. Jeez.
Simple addition. How dare you?
Yeah. It all happens so fast.
So did Fleet have a double scoring ball? Like a ball of a different color?
Not that I saw, no.
Okay. Was it 5 balls or 10?
It was 5.
Okay. I've never played one, so that's why the simple questions.
I remember when I started playing, it looked like there were just 5 loaded up, but then there was one game where I just kept hitting balls in the holes. I don't know. Maybe it would have had to have been more than 5 balls. Let's go with 10. I'm going to go with 10. That's my final answer.
All right. On the older games, 10 was commonplace, and instead of steel balls, they used marbles. And the marbles would be different colors. So most of them would be white, for example, and then maybe one was black. And the black one scored double.
Yeah, no, that was not this thing.
Were they steel balls?
Were the marble balls the same size?
No, they were smaller.
Oh, okay. No, then these were the typical steel pinballs, so maybe I guess it had to have been 5 then, right? Did you say a minute ago that?
Typically it is, yeah.
Typically, okay.
So this would be in 37. Did it have a back box?
No.
No, it was just the playfield.
Yeah.
In a box. Okay.
Can't imagine it with a back box.
Yeah, let me look up what this thing is here because
does the one with the back box keep the score for you? Because that's where it's at.
Yeah, when they introduced back boxes, that's when they started tabulating your score for you.
Awesome.
So Fleet, for those who don't know, was a game that was made in 1934, and it came in 2 different forms. There was Fleet Senior and Fleet Junior. Fleet Junior was smaller, like a countertop game.
That's the one that I played, right?
I believe you played Fleet Senior. Was it on legs or was it on a counter?
It was on legs, I'm pretty sure. Let me find the picture of it. Because I feel like it's in the picture which one it is. Or maybe it's not. Yeah, it says 1934 Fleet Junior.
Fleet Junior, huh, okay. So the idea of fleet is that it's a battleship, or a fleet of ships, and there are a variety of cannons on the playfield. And what you want to do is load them all and then land in the hole at the top, correct?
Yes.
And then it fires all the cannons.
Right. So you
cool.
only have access when you fire the ball through the ramp. You can only really get it into, I guess, 3 of the cannons because the rest are kind of blocked off. And those are the outermost cannons. And once you get the balls in there, you want to shoot a ball into the top hole, and then that triggers it to shoot the ball forward, and then it lands up into the higher cannons. And you keep doing that. Yeah, it's so cool. I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, is there a way? I see that there's a center cannon, which is huge.
Yeah. I got a ball in there somehow, but I didn't get to fire that off. So
that's a shame.
I should have played longer.
It looks like what it can do is, as you load the outer cannons, then you roll down and you fire into the middle cannons,
right,
and into the upper, and then
So the upper you actually can access from the outside, and then the 2 at the top, you once you have a ball in those and you get the action ball, that'll shoot up, and then I think the ball kind of rolls down into the big one.
Yes, and so I'm wondering if all of them will fire.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because it's a giant...
Oh, wait, no. I think it actually exits down into that little slot. If you're looking at the picture, there's a slot beneath it.
Yeah.
Which
is a bunch of points, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what it is. Yeah. Huh.
Okay. We'll work through this together.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a pretty game.
Yeah, that game's super cool.
And so
there's nothing else like that there.
So looking at Fleet Junior here, I see it's got the pedestal style tilt mechanism. Did you notice that?
No, I don't really know what you mean by that.
Over by the shooter rod, because there was no way to electrically tell you, there was no light that would flash that would say tilt.
Uh-huh.
If you shook it too hard. There's a little steel ball that sits on a pedestal.
I was wondering what that was.
That's the tilt mechanism. And so
that's super cool.
Yeah, if you shake it off of there, it's
then the game ends. Yeah.
It's invalid. It doesn't end the game.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, because you could gamble with these technically, but you would know if you lost.
Right.
By doing that. So if you went to show the barkeeper, look, I got, all 5 balls in the big main cannon. And you'd be like, hey, you shook the hell out of the game. Make that happen.
Yeah, okay.
So kind of interesting.
Yeah. Neat.
Yeah, and a variety of manufacturers used that mechanism for a very long time.
Like who? I mean, Bally, obviously. I always thought it was Bali until I heard you say it.
Oh, well, some people pronounce it Bali.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know which is correct.
Oh, no. Surely someone out there knows.
I am certain. I am more than certain that somebody...
What do you listeners should write in?
You should. You absolutely should.
Yeah.
Yeah, snail mail. That's the only way I'll accept that is.
And then write out the phonetic pronunciation. Yeah.
Or gramophone disc. I'll accept that. So I saw that there was our United game there because there was a posting about how Lynn Durant said he would never put flippers on a game.
Yeah, and then he ended up doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember which game that was?
I think it was Singapore.
Singapore, yes. Okay. So, did you get to play that one?
I could list that off so quickly because it was the next picture in my little album here. So
you don't have to reveal all your secrets, man.
Yeah, oh, okay. I'm really familiar with pinball machines.
Singapore was made in 1947, and so that was after World War II.
Yeah.
And manufacturing was coming back to amusements. And United, at the time, was putting out these games where you spelled the name on the playfield. Did you play this one?
I played a little bit, and I wasn't too great at it, I don't think. I mean, I got the balls in some of those playfield holds, but I don't know. I wasn't blown away. It had a couple of flippers on it, but only the left one was a functioning flipper. So I don't know if that was intentional. I'm doubting it, but yeah.
The game should have been flipperless.
Yeah, okay. But he installed flippers on it, and only the left one worked.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder where they were positioned. Down at the bottom?
No, they were actually pretty high up. You can see them
Okay.
in the picture.
That's interesting. When United did start putting out flippers, they actually used these weird 2 posts with a band stretched between them
Uh-huh.
instead of, a flipper bat.
Right.
They're pretty odd to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, they used that same or a pretty similar playfield layout. I guess they stuck with success because there were 3 kickout holes that go down sequentially the playfield, and they it just did that over and over again. And then they had 2 little bonus kickouts on the left and right of the bottom one. Odd. Yeah, that one.
I never got it into those bonus ones. I only got them into the middle ones. Huh.
Yeah, it looks like you would have to, if you had flippers installed, it looks like it would be pretty difficult because it's got to go down the rollovers on the left and right, and then you got to kind of bounce it off the rubber at the bottom.
Yeah.
But if you can't do that, then not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, well, were there any other standout EMs there that you remember?
I'm going through my photos. Let's see. Maybe it was just bad memories of Egghead.
You got to give that one another shot, I think.
I think I would like it. I played it a couple of games and didn't do well, but that didn't really stop me for a minute. So
that's good.
Yeah. It's like Twinkie, I guess. It was just infuriating, but then you can't stop. Yeah, other than the ones we talked about, I can't really say a whole lot about any of the other EM machines. I think I played a little bit of Kilroy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right. There was a
Kilroy is, I think I had fun playing that, and I got 100,000, which was one of the bigger lit up numbers, and I felt good about that. So,
who is the manufacturer on that? Chicago Coin.
I wish I took a picture of the actual playfield. I just took a picture of the back glass after I played a game.
I'm looking at it on the Internet Pinball database.
Yeah, I guess I can also use the Internet. I have that privilege.
They haven't taken it away from you yet?
Yeah, not yet.
So it's got this thing called a repeater hole down at the bottom. Do you remember what that did?
I'm trying to find a picture. And no.
Very good. So what's interesting about Kilroy is it was Chicago Coin. And Chicago Coin, as I mentioned, was looked down upon, especially into the 60s and 70s. But at this time, Roy Parker, who was the artist for Gottlieb, was actually doing artwork for other companies. And so a very famous pinball artist who was kind of the Gottlieb signature artist did the artwork for this game. And it's kind of a silly wartime theme. And it was made in 1947 as well. Everything happened in 1947, apparently.
Everything.
Yeah, so there's 2 kickouts at the top that are 5,000.
Yeah.
And then the kickout in the middle, which is almost impossible to get in. But
yeah. That thing looks... I certainly didn't get in the middle one. So, yeah.
You'd have to nudge at just the right time to send it up and over that triangular post. And then down below that is the repeater hole, which I have no idea what that does.
All right.
So a lot of these wood rail games, this is a wood rail, by the way, and so is Singapore.
Oh. Okay, yeah, they had those there.
A lot of the wood rail games had multiple ways to win replays. And they were typically signified by artwork that said special or extra special or super special.
Oh.
So Kilroy here has an extra special, which probably earned you 5 replays. But you had to light it. You had to earn it.
Yeah, I didn't earn that.
Oh, wow. All you had to do to light it was to roll down either side lane. And then you'd get 5 replays in the extra special hole. And apparently, that repeater hole does nothing. Nothing special.
Okay, good. I'm glad then, because I was trying really hard to
1,000 points.
It's like, I can't remember it doing anything super cool, so.
Nothing.
I'm just going to pretend like it didn't, yeah.
So, any other standouts? I'm going to keep asking that question until you stop giving me answers.
Am I restricted to a certain era of machine?
Well, now let's open it up.
Okay. I thought one of the Elviras was really cool, and the other one was kind of boring. I don't know if I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for saying that.
Not here, I don't think.
Okay.
This is a safe place, Brent. Safe.
Which Elvira did I like? I can't find the picture. Do you know the names of the Elvira machines?
Of course I do.
Scared Stiff
is the newer one.
Yeah, that's the one that I liked. And that had a spider that you were supposed to zap in the back glass. And I zapped him good.
Well, great.
Yep.
Yeah, the spider gives you a random award.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. I just felt great about zapping him. That was reward enough. Yeah.
Finally. Any other favorites there?
So, oh man, I can't remember which Star Trek it was, but one of the Star Trek machines has this feature where you get the ball loaded up in a cannon to launch a probe, quote unquote, and so the way you launch it is you pull this little trigger, which is how you launch the ball to start the game in the first place. It's shaped like a little gun handle, and you pull the trigger. So you do that for launching the probe, and right in front of the gun, there's this little rail that you're supposed to launch it onto. But I didn't notice that railing there until I had done it twice. So I was just kind of shooting it across the field with no real purpose. Oh, go on.
Again, this is not a solid state podcast, but I will give you a little tip here. Okay. That one, it's going to randomly light an insert on the play field, and that's what you want to shoot at.
Oh, okay. So cannon, I wasn't supposed to shoot it up the rail?
No.
Oh.
No, that's its
railing right in front of it. Huh?
That's its resting position. That railing is how it loads the cannon.
Oh, okay. So what would happen if you shot it up the railing?
I don't know. I've never seen that happen.
Okay. So I was just kind of shooting the ball around on the field, not really sure where to go, and then I noticed the railing and figured that had to have been exactly what I was supposed to shoot it up. So
no,
I was super wrong.
More difficult than that.
Okay.
So you might notice that cannon feature was the same thing as in Terminator 2 as well.
Oh, yeah. I'd forgotten about that.
So that's Star Trek The Next Generation. And what's kind of cool is, they had all 4 of the Star Trek games right beside each other.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Kind of cool. Anything else?
Looking here, I was so happy to see a Centaur in person, even though I don't have a whole lot of fun playing it. I have a whole lot of fun looking at it. So
pointing out the hilarious backglass artwork to Brent for a long time.
Yeah, man, that is the best backglass. There's another machine with really hilarious backglass. It has something to do with melons.
Nelly.
I don't think that's what it was called, but
Nelly's Big Juicy Melons.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, that one.
So that's another brand new game that's kind of a throwback.
Okay, because it seemed a bit older.
Originally a replacement kit for an old Woodrail Gottlieb game called Continental Cafe. And the artist and designer ended up contracting with Stern, who's a big pinball manufacturer that's still around today, and they started producing these new machines.
Yay!
So, what did you think of the gameplay on that? Did you give it a try?
On Wonelli?
Mm-hmm.
I did terrible at it. There were a bunch of people in line to play it, so I only did one game. and I was also, I don't know, I did terrible. And then for that game, this and one of the other games, they had a camera above it so that, whoever was playing was being broadcast to the entire room. So I played a really bad game, and then I wanted to leave.
Slunk away in shame, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. It seemed all right. I wasn't blown away by it, but maybe that's because I was focusing on all the people around me, and I did really terrible. So,
what did you think of the motorized score reels in the back box?
Those are cool.
Yeah,
I like games that have that. Those are neat.
In the realm of arcades, did you play any of the stand-up arcades? They had some really good ones there.
I played a couple, but I can't remember the names of the ones I played. I don't think I took pictures of them. But the ones that I played were mostly like you're flying a ship and you shoot bad things. So, but it wasn't like, it wasn't Galaga or anything. God, I wish I could remember the one in particular that I was playing. It had this little wheel that you would turn, clockwise or counterclockwise to turn the ship.
Tempest?
I think that was it, yeah. That one was pretty cool, I thought. But
that's one of my favorites.
I'm always terrible at those stand-up arcade games. And I don't know, I didn't really focus a whole lot on the stand-up games. I was trying to play as much pinball as I could within the time that I had there. But
I'm giving him a thumbs up.
Yeah, I should have played more of the arcade games. I've always been so bad at them, though. Like, whenever I play you or Jason and Pac-Man, I'm always, by far the worst.
Well, we've only been playing that our entire lives.
Yeah,
so.
I guess that's fair.
So, would you go back next year?
Yeah, I definitely would. And I would play a lot more than I played this year.
Do you think you've progressed to the point where you might pick up a pinball machine one day?
I would have to get a house first, and I don't see myself buying a house in the near future. So ask me again in maybe a few years.
All right. Fair enough.
I think that would be, I don't know, they're really cool. I guess, I don't know if this is the right way to phrase it, but it'd be a cool novelty item to have around the house or something.
You feel that way now. Okay. Well, anything else you'd like to add?
Let me scroll through my notes real quick. I'll just list some of the other games that I played, which isn't a whole lot. They had an Arabian Nights there, which was cool because I'm used to playing that on my tablet and the Pinball Arcade app. But I played some of that, and I just struck out big time. Like, I was doing so terrible on the real machine. So
that's another one with a big magnet in the back.
Yeah. There was, World Tour that had that spinny thing in the back.
Yes, I've never played one. That was actually...
The machine was really loud. It was constantly blasting crazy noises at you. So I don't know if I'd ever like to own one of those. But
So, well, I'm glad you had a good time, and I'm glad you were able to go.
Yeah.
And,
hopefully this isn't your worst episode yet.
Oh, no.
I couldn't remember a whole lot. But yeah.
No,
I'm sorry I'm not more of an enthusiast.
Hey, I'm impressed that I got you out there. I mean, from knowing nothing about these machines at all to
awesome.
Where you are now.
I still feel like I know absolutely nothing, but
it takes time.
Yeah.
Once you have me bring you your first one, then.
Oh, okay. So that's gonna happen.
Yep, tomorrow.
That'll be my once I buy a house. That'll be my housewarming gift.
That'd be a good housewarming gift.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, well, thank you very much for coming on, Brent, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks, man. See you tomorrow.
All right, bye.
Good night.
I want to thank my guest, Brent Amrhein, for coming on the show, and I want to thank all of you for listening. So thank you for joining me. My name again is Nick Baldridge. You can reach me at foramusementonlypodcast@gmail.com. And you can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Casts, via RSS, on Facebook, on Twitter, at Bingo Podcast. On Instagram, you can find me at nbaldridge, and you can listen to us on our website, which is foramusementonly.libsyn.com. Thanks very much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.